Hello from the land of TV. This is King Cool, and welcome to the Toast Reviews. For those of you who do not know how this works, I have just watched a movie, and I also have something I want to toast up. And I have to talk about the movie and review it before it's done. And if it burns, then I burn a bagel, and nobody's happy with that. Today, I have watched Dodgeball, a true underdog story, recommended to me by Morgan Van Humbeck from LoadingReadyRun when I was in Victoria a few weeks ago. It was like a month ago now, I guess. And he said it was better than Anchorman. And I was like, okay, well, now that you've said that, I'm going to have to give this a shot. And today on the show, I'm toasting up Thomas's Everything Bagels. They're not quite as bold as some other flavors of Everything Bagels I've tried. I mean, you heard me talk about Everything Bagels before, so at any rate, here we go. Okay, now it seems a little silly to break out the players in a movie that's trying not to take itself too seriously, but I think we all know the plot, so please put your hand together and help me welcome the inanimate players. Oh, is there anything I can do to save my land of indeterminate value? Yes, the bank will do something, but you have to have 30 days, a very specific amount of time, to raise this very specific amount of money. $50,000 in this case. $50,000 in 3 days? Time for hijinks. And then later, we can't raise $50,000 in 30 days, are you crazy? No, we have the team right here. You, tube guy, you have your incredibly different voice that changes all the time. That's true. And you, brush guy, you have that bald spot. I wish you wouldn't call me out on that. And you, double Batman, you have billions of dollars. I don't see how that's relevant. Yeah, we can do this. So, I mean, I could continue to bring up the players pretty much until my toast is done. But a lot of the times, some of the times it does seem like they're hanging a lampshade on some of these things. And then there's a lot of times it really just feels like they're just doing the structure because that's what Hollywood sort of wants and needs from it. I mean, the reason I created the players is because there's some scenes you see in all these movies. I'm not, I could bring them out and talk about the scene that in a 90-minute movie always happens at the 60-minute mark where it's like, man, we're discouraged. The second act downbeat, where it's like, alright, that's over, now we're to the third act, and, oh, something or other, is this going to happen, is this going to happen? But, honestly, at the end of the day, who cares about this? It just matters if it's funny. And this is reasonably funny. Of all people, Joe David Moore is in this. He was in The Hottie and the Naughty and Avatar. This guy has one of the strangest resumes out there. This is one of the scenes that I had sort of a problem with. At the very beginning, Ben Stiller runs this macro gym, and Vince Vaughn runs a lesser gym, and Ben Stiller doesn't like him. He's like, "Hey, you slept with 3 of my trainers," and Vince Vaughn goes, "It was one night," and he says, "Oh, you sent a stripper to my 1-year celebration. What? I wanted you to celebrate. It was a gift. It was also a man." It's like, okay, one, this guy's supposed to be a lovable loser, but he has sex with 3 women in one night? And the other guy, a male stripper came to my party. It's like, are you uncomfortable with the male body somehow, Mr. Bodybuilder guy who runs a gym? So things like that didn't make a whole lot of sense to me. And then they have the thing where they run I'm going to say, I don't think any woman in a bikini washes a car and presses their boobs against the glass like they do in this movie and in Cool Hand Luke. It's like, well, I haven't seen Cool Hand Luke all the way through, but I've seen that part. What else do I have written here? Ben Stiller's wife is really hot. I'm just gonna go out and say that. It's just, and also she's good too, and she's funny. So it's like, man, like I can see why she's here. People be, oh, it's just his wife. And then no, I kind of like her. What else? There's one guy who just talks like a pirate for no adequate reason except for the fact that pirates are funny, and he actually is pretty funny, so that's unusual. The main thing is, okay, is this funnier than Anchorman? Now, it's been a while since I've seen Anchorman. I've only saw it once in theaters, but I loved it. Anchorman might be my favorite comedy of the last 10 years, to be honest. Is it funnier than that? I don't think so. This movie is sincere in its intentions, and it's reasonably funny. It helped me discover that the word grundle was not invented by one of my friends. But then they also use the word taint, which I'm pretty sure those things are synonyms. So, I also, you know, they don't use gooch, which I believe, oh jeez, was invented by the Jackass guys. Oh, you're getting dark. I'm going to have to butter you now. Come on. Come on, do what I say. You're embarrassing me in front of the internet. How dare you do this to me? Camera shift in 3, 2, Alright. Now, I don't have a knife. Carefully withdrawing knife. Not that carefully. Where was I? I talked about gooch, taint, grundle, etc. Like, is it funnier than Anchorman? I don't think so, but I mean, I only saw Anchorman the one time, but I loved it. Is it just maybe that Vince Vaughn, to me, isn't quite as likable as Ron Burgundy? Not Will Ferrell specifically, but Ron Burgundy. Maybe. And then I'm like, okay, well, what if... maybe that's not the one thing I should compare. What about Zoolander from 2001? Is that perhaps... No, it's 2002, I think it was, actually. Is that possibly the thing to compare it to? As far as this goes, just since it's been still a comedy? It certainly reminds me more of Zoolander. But I liked Zoolander when it came out, and I don't know if this is actually... I'm not going to say it's better. I think it's probably a hair more sophisticated, or certainly... not... you know, what it's making fun of. It's making fun of sports and these sorts of movies. I guess it's something of an easier target. Do I have anything else? This in the subtitles they spell Tookus in a way that I didn't understand. Can anyone tell me how to actually spell Tookus? Here's the spellings. I'll put them up on the screen right now. Tookus. Which one of those is right? Because I can't find it, and I like that word. Oh, there's one inspired little joke where Ben Stiller's character uses this pump to pump up his crotch like those basketball shoes or whatever. But then he intends on trying to make love to the Christine Taylor, Ben Stiller's wife's character. And I'm like, you know, she's gonna figure out you're lying sometime soon if she does succeed. But anyway, so do I recommend it? Sort of. I'm glad I gave it a shot. On the DVDs, they actually have an alternate ending, which just shows sort of like, okay, these guys do want to make something funny, and they have. This is reasonably funny. It's just nothing special. Nevertheless, thank you for watching. If you have something you want me to watch, just tell me. I may get to it at some point, but you know, it all depends. Thank you for watching. This is King Cool, and please drive home safe. Welcome to a new segment I'd like to introduce called Something Totally Irrelevant that I thought was interesting. So, Justin Long is in Dodgeball, and so is Alan Tudyk. He's the guy who plays the pirate guy. But currently in release is Alvin and the Chipmunks 3, Chipwrecked. And Justin Long is actually in that movie. He plays Alvin, so good for him. It's weird that, like, a lot of people, the three Chipettes actually are all people you would have heard of. It's Christina Applegate, Anna Faris, and I just forgot the last one. I'm sure it'll pop up on the screen at this point. But there's people you would have heard of. So what happens in this movie is Simon, the skinny one, who's actually the only one who's not voiced by someone I would recognize immediately. Theodore was voiced by Jesse McCartney, I think is his name. He's a singer, but Simon gets bitten by the spider that has a neurotoxin that changes his personality or something, and he becomes Simone. Now, I didn't know Simone was a guy's name, but whatever. But what this happens is it turns him into like a Latin Lothario, whatever they call him, Casanova kind of guy, except he doesn't speak Spanish. Because apparently this gag from Toy Story 3 was so fucking funny, we needed to have it in this movie too. I guess we just couldn't let that one. It's like, man, that's gold. We gotta have this one in this Alvin movie. And Simone is voiced by the same guy who does Simon, and he's voiced by Alan Tudyk. So yeah, apparently, just like, why? Why does the voice change? At least with Toy Story, there sort of was a reason, because he had a little switch, and, you know, who knows why these guys have voices anyway, but this one is like, he changes personality and switches voices, and then you can't tell the difference between any of them anyway, because they all sound the same, because you speed up the voice. So I'm like, why are you even wasting time getting Justin Long? Just pull someone out of Dunkin' Donuts and just pay them. Get a homeless guy. It's like, hey, here's $50. Be the voice of Alvin. Yes, sir. You know. Well, that was something completely irrelevant. Brought to you by balsamic vinegar. This shit sucks. Why is this in everything? This stuff is nasty.